A mistake that I have noticed in many students' manuscripts is that they don't know the exact function of the introduction section of an article. They often assume that introduction is a shorter version of the literature review, so they tend to stuff a lot of technical information in this section right from the start. The introduction or the background section is where you set the tone and goals for the rest of your article. Tone is the voice of the author, the preferred way an author communicates with the reader, confirms his or her choice of writing style, for example, critical analysis, descriptive or persuasive styles, and the degree of formality that she or he will pursue for the rest of the article. You see right from the start that some authors tend to use passive voice more often than active voice, such as the use of I and we to refer to themselves as the doer of the research. Some authors prefer to use neutral terms when it comes to political, religious, or social standings, while others have a clear stance and a specific way of addressing the issues. You also notice that some authors prefer brief and to-the-point descriptions of the main points, events, or the research goals with short sentences and very formal tone. Others prefer to include a pinch of informal language and write longer sentences that are more explanatory in nature or include more embedded syntactic structures. Therefore, the introduction section tells a lot about the author, his or her personality, the way of communication, his or her stance on the main research problems, and the overall perspective on the research issues. As the name suggests, you should give some background information about your work and prepare the reader for various terminology and ideas throughout your article. The introduction section is also a place where you clarify the research objectives, the necessity of carrying out your research, or the significance of the study as I explained in the first section of this course. A good article clarifies the importance of the study and the ways to achieve it from the very beginning and does not drag the readers until the middle of the article to give them important information about the overall objectives. Many rejected manuscripts fail to clarify this matter in the introduction section. Another major mistake that many students make is that they provide some generalized statements or cliches as the reasons for the necessity of conducting their research. It almost feels like they are giving lip service to various ideas or applications of the study rather than stating genuine or meaningful objectives. Remember that it's better to have one important outcome in mind than to list multiple objectives that might not be very relevant or achievable by your findings. For instance, an experiment on a specific classroom learning problem is likely to have an impact on that learning environment. It won't solve all learning problems for all students in the world. So be realistic and modest in setting your goals and avoid overstatements such as groundbreaking, outstanding, and certainly, which give an air of overconfidence to your text and an indication to the reviewers that you might be pretentious. Next, be mindful of the reader. Do not cram a lot of terminologies and technical information. Just give enough information for the reader to see the overall point of your arguments about the necessity of conducting that specific research or analysis. Remember to provide the complete forms of acronyms the first time you introduce them. Do not assume that all readers are familiar with the terms you use. Finally, try to end your introduction with a short outline of your article without falling into cliches such as section 2 will be about such and section 3 will discuss such and such. Section headings are good enough indicators of what those sections are about. You do not need to repeat that information. Instead, give the reader a glimpse of what you intend to achieve in each major part of your article, and remember to keep it short.